All right, welcome back everybody. So this week we're going to look at some primers in a refinishing situation. And we're going to kind of look at three different scenarios here. We're going to look at a lot of people's favorite, the shellac, and we're going to kind of put it head to head with the 643. And so what I have here is a commercial made door with a solvent based stain on it and a solvent based conversion varnish, which is typically what a lot of us run into in refinishing applications. Now, what we're going to do is, as you can see, I have it labeled the shellac at the top and the M643 at the bottom. And we're going to shoot a coat on, we're going to see how much bleed back we get, and then we're going to shoot the top coat over it to see if that bleed continues through onto the top coat, because some water bases will re-wet it and it just keeps pulling and pulling. Everybody's had that experience. That's one reason why I actually switched to vinyl sealer over the shellac, and it has a lot of benefits that the shellac doesn't. Now, I'm not telling everybody to run out and do vinyl sealer. No, I'm just telling you what I use. And I've had a couple situations recently that there's no way you would have been able to cover the problem with shellac. All right, now also I have a panel here that has a water-based dye that will have a tendency to bleed. So we're going to go straight on a water-based dye. Now I wish I had the red dye that I had before, and it's really notorious for bleed, and that's kind of the ultimate standard for me. As well as what we're going to do is on the back side of this door, I'm going to do 2 coats of the 855, and we're going to see how that would work in a refinishing situation. Now, if this coating actually works in a refinishing situation as a catalyzed product, you could potentially save yourself a whole coating. And I think that this will work in certain situations. I don't think it's going to work in every situation, but we're just going to do the test and find out. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so we're going to start off with our denatured alcohol. All right, pretty much nothing going there. That's good on that. Let's take a look at some lacquer thinner. Getting nothing on the paper towel and nothing on the surface. It didn't hurt it. That's good. Awesome. And let's look at our acetone here. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Pretty much nothing there. I don't know where that blue came from. That's kind of interesting. Maybe that was already on the paper towel. And we have, that didn't touch it either. Okay, so the chemical resistance is really high on this primer, which you would expect from a 2K. But it's also pigmented, so that alone is very, very impressive. So let's take a look at the crosshatch adhesion here. And remember, this is over a solvent-based conversion varnish. All right, very, very good. So we got a little bit of pulling, but it's only right there where the knife mark was. So that's excellent adhesion. Really doesn't get much better than that on a refinished surface. Let's take a look at the Mar resistance, what we're going to be looking at there. All right, so the Mar resistance, we are getting some peeling with it, but it's very, very hard, and it's not really coming up as you can see. Now, obviously, this is not a top coat, so it's going to be a little bit less Mar resistant. All right, got the cold glass of water on it, and we'll come back in 12 hours and see what she does. 24, sorry. All right, so we're back. We're gonna take a look at the water resistance and see how it came out. We'll let that flash off for a little bit and we'll take a look at it. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm gonna go scuff this, and I'm gonna shoot this with the 851, and we're gonna see if we get any bleed through on both sides of this with the 643, because I want to see if you could actually do a 2-coat system in a refinish application. So let's do that, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, miracles abound. So as you can see, there's no bleed back. I stuck my finger in there. That was genius. So where we had right in here was some yellowing, or what we would call dye migration, bleed back, whatever you want to call it. But it's not there now after putting that top coat on. Over here where we had the shellac, the same thing. However, something very interesting is that even though this had a coat of shellac and then the 851, you can still see where I wrote the shellac on there. Down here where I wrote the 643, it's gone. Now, on the back, I did the 851 only. I had a similar thing here. Up in here, I had a little bit where I sanded through really well so I would get some dye migration coming back up through this coating. And right in here, I got a little bit of yellowing and it's in some other spots, but it's completely gone now. So, and as you can see, that was the color before. It was a cherry. It's a cherry door with that really dark, deep cherry color and a conversion varnish on it. So I'm calling this one a game changer, and let me give you my final thoughts. All right, so what's my final thoughts? Well, I'm just going to say it. This is a game changer combination. I have yet to see a legitimate 2-coat system in any coatings that I've used so far. And I think this fits the bill. Now remember, if you remember from the front of the video, this was a solvent-based conversion varnish with a solvent-based dye on it, and I scuff sanded it to 180, and there's no bleed through. Now, my buddy Michael Craine, by the way, if you don't know Michael Craine, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. Go subscribe to his channel. We're going to be doing some things together, and so you're going to see us kind of working together on some stuff. But great dude, very knowledgeable. We're actually going to do a video on the isocyanates in the 2K and the safety precautions that you should be taking if you're going to use this material. All right, so back to this. This is the one that I shot that I put a water-based dye on, and you can see a little bit that it has some red in it. And this would be your worst case scenario, but that still is really impressive to me on a like-on-like situation. So I think what I'm going to do, honestly, is I'm going to put this to the test on a real kitchen situation. I have somebody that would be a good candidate for this possibly, and I'm going to reach out to them, go look at their kitchen, and see if we can't do this and maybe even film this. So the thing I want to mention is that MK Sales is offering you guys, my subscribers, 10% off your first purchase. Use the coupon code TEST, don't guess, you got it, and you can get 10% off and try some Renner for yourself. I'm looking forward to actually doing this on a job and a refinish, but from what I'm seeing, this is really game changing. And now I will say that one reason why I want to try this, I want to find somebody that's got a good old golden oak kitchen that's been around for a while. But I don't think you would have any problems with darker colors on this. I think it's going to be pretty good. I want to get with them and see what products you would use as a sealer for darker colors, or if you use the 643 tinted to gray. And And I'm gonna still do some more testing on this, but right now I'm saying game changer. Now I do think there could be possibilities where things would come up where you'd have to spot prime, and you could either use a can of vinyl sealer. Vinyl sealer does come in an aerosol can, and or you could use the bin. So hope you liked the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and remember, test, don't guess. We'll catch you next week.